Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Couch Warrior Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Mike, and today I've got two dope-ass guests. I got my guy, MMA Propaholic, my co-host for Prop Talk, and none other than Mushroom Philly joining us for the first time. So, real quick, we're going to be breaking down UFC Vegas 69. Pretty crappy of a card, but we'll do the best we can. And real quick, I'll pass the mic to my two friends here, and then we'll hop right in. So, Propaholic, how do you feel, brother? What do you think of this card?
Yeah, guys, it's not the greatest card in the world, but we're always going to find a way to make money. I didn't do great last week. My worst card betting tracked of all time, down 5.14 units. So I'm back to work this week. I already have 5 track bets, and I plan on having about 3 more. Let's get straight into it.
How about you, Mushroom?
Yeah, same. I agree. It's a sketchy card. But I think if you look through, I think there's going to be actually some decent plays we can come up with. I too had a pretty shitty week. I put out 500, got like 375 back. Didn't even make my money back, so I want to do much better than that this week. Even with the sketchy card, hopefully we get some stretchy pockets. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. All right. So we can hop right into our card. Sorry about that. I live in New York. All right. For the first card, we've got Juancamilo Ronderos versus Clayton Carpenter. Ronderos 4-1-0, 28 years old, 5'4", with a 65-inch reach, training out of Extreme Couture. Clayton Carpenter is 6-0, undefeated as a pro. 26 years old. He's going to be 5'6". He's 2 inches taller. He's got a 1-inch reach advantage, training out of MMA Lab. Prop, why don't you start us off here?
Yeah, guys. So Ronderos, I'm not really high on Ronderos. We don't really know what we're going to get out of Ronderos. He took the Dvorak fight on a 48-hour short notice, got submitted in about 3 minutes. I really like Carpenter's game. Clint broke it down perfect on Monday on his podcast with Brady. He says he actually knows Carpenter, and he saw Carpenter when he was at Alliance when he was 14 years old, and always knew that he was going to be a grit and be a great fighter in the UFC. And I really liked his Contender Series fight. He was down in the first round, fought through adversity, did very well in the grappling in the late rounds, and I think that's exactly what he's going to do here. I don't like Ronderos' takedown defense at all. He's willing to lose minutes off his back, and Carpenter's really good with top mount, and he just suffocates you. The guy likes to hold you. He likes to win minutes. He's also pretty good on the feet, but I honestly think the guy really excels in the grappling, and there is a prop that I really do like that I am probably going to track that, and that's a submission/decision on Carpenter at -115 on DraftKings. I just don't really think that this fight's going to be on feet very long. I know Carpenter could knock out Ronderos, but I just think most of this fight's going to take place in the grappling, and I think Carpenter's going to win most of the minutes, and I even think he can get in the submission late.
All right. How about you, Mushroom?
Yeah, I mean, as far as it goes on the Ronderos side, there's that 1.5-year layoff. He's smaller. He's at a reach disadvantage. He's a submission guy, but he only has one finish. I like a lot on the Carpenter side. He only has 6 pro fights, but the guy pretty much fought all over the world, probably since he's a teenager. His dad's been dragging him all over the world to fight, so that doesn't hurt. A Muay Thai champ, Golden Gloves champion. There's a lot to like on that side. He's well-rounded. And with the no losses, he's durable, so he's never been finished. He's kind of lost every way, though. He's kind of lost 2 by knockout, 2 by sub, 2 by decision. But I think he's going to go through the kid. I don't know that he necessarily finishes this guy. So what I have is, kind of going along with what Brandon said, a late finish. I have the 3rd round/decision prop is what I'm playing for this fight for Carpenter. That's my bet.
Nice. And yeah, I mean, I'm on the same page. I think Carpenter, like the way I look at it is Ronderos has a similar game. He's just he's worse. He's just worse. Like his striking sucks. Like I think his striking is so bad. He wings everything. Output looks pretty low. He's so hittable. Like I know he has 67% striking defense on UFC stats, but that's from 2 minutes against Dvorak. You can't really take anything from that. On the regionals, he's just getting his ass beat on the feet. And yeah, I mean, I just don't have anything to like about him. So I just played Carpenter money line -285. I parlayed him with someone we'll talk about soon for a unit. And I played the over 1.5 today at -150 for just under a unit because, well, I think Clayton Carpenter is much better. I don't know that he's that good of a finisher just yet. And Ronderos, like I said, he sucks, but he's tough, and I think he's going to be able to hang in at least for that over. It's kind of like the Don Shainis fight for me. I played the over there too, and that hit because Shainis, while he's not very good, he was tough and able to take the
There's durability. Yep.
What if Ronderos comes back looking like a completely different fighter this week? That's what's been scaring me all week. Because this is a 1.5-year layoff. Like, I don't know how this guy's gonna look, but 3 minutes for a debut, short notice, high off cocaine. We can't take so much off it. So I don't really know. But his regional tape, it's not good. He gets taken down, controlled, and as you said, Couch Warriors' striking defense is terrible.
Yeah, the question is he better or worse on cocaine? Because
That's a great question.
A lot of times that problem just gets worse. So say maybe worse. The more money you get, you know what I mean?
You guys see that someone else popped for cocaine today? I don't remember who, but it was a higher weight class. But someone else popped.
Oh, Nicholas Mata, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I was disappointed in that one, man. That $2 million. Does he even have $2 million?
Was that the fine?
Someone said it was a $2 million fine.
I can't imagine that.
I hope it's not true. Because I don't know what he's going to get.
Nicholas Mata doesn't have millions.
You might have to go find the PFL.
But all right, we can move on to the next fight. Here we've got an interesting one. We have AJ Fletcher versus Themba Gorimbo making his UFC debut. Fletcher's 9-2-0. He's 26 years old, 5'10" with a 67-inch reach, training at a Gladiators Academy. Gorimbo 10-3-0. He's going to be 6 years older at 32, 2 inches taller with a, what is this? 6? I'm not a math guy. A 6-inch reach advantage, 9.5-inch reach advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I really don't do math well. But Mushroom, why don't you start us off for this one?
Sure. I want to start off with the Fletcher side. I know he's got, some power in his hands. He's got those head kicks. I think he's a decent wrestler and grappler. He's got strong takedowns. Man, he gets on top. He's got some decent ground and pound as well. Seems like he's a step ahead when he's on the ground. Guy who shoots for your legs. Seems like he's kind of durable. He has 2 decision losses. My one thing about him is his cardio to me seems a little bit questionable the later it goes. Now, on the other side, you got Gorimbo. I know he's a wrestler. He's got takedowns, but he's doing it to cans, it seems like. Again, you're going to hear me say this a lot about this card. I'm just not impressed with a lot of tape that I watched for these guys. I'm really not impressed with a lot of the regional scene stuff. I've seen this guy get dropped. He has nothing off his back. I mean, he's okay at distance and range and stuff like that. He's got a decent upper body takedown defense. But if you go for his legs, you don't have shit for that either. Look, I just think there's more to like on the Fletcher side. I do worry a tad about the cardio, but I don't think it's going to get that far because I'm going to play Fletcher inside the distance.
Got it. How about you, Prop?
Yeah, you broke it down perfectly, Mushroom. I agree with everything you just said, but I mean, Gorimbo can sub Fletcher, and I don't mean to be that guy, but AJ Fletcher just puts the neck in just really concerning spots, and Gorimbo has a 9.5-inch reach advantage, so he's got some long arms. If AJ Fletcher does any stupid mistake at -270, and you have him parlayed, and he goes for a takedown, and his neck is right on the side and Gorimbo gets it, it's going to be a very stressful night because I want to parlay AJ Fletcher so badly. But that's the one thing that's keeping me from doing it. But I think this guy, I don't even know how to say his last name, Gorimbo, right?
Gorimbo, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really like how he is on the feet. He just throws overloading hands. He throws from his hip. His hands are always down. And Fletcher can crack you on the feet. If Fletcher keeps this on the feet, I think he gets him out of there in the very first round. But man, if he goes for the takedown and he just puts himself in trouble, I don't know, man. This fight's very sketchy to me. But Fletcher inside the distance at plus money is the way I would go here, and I'm probably gonna end up throwing it.
I like it.
Yeah, so I think I've been smoking too much because I'm so tempted on Themba Gorimbo. I don't know what it is. Honestly, for the striking, I kind of like it. I feel like he uses his range well. He can strike long, good 1-2, good jab, all that. And Fletcher, you look at him, Angelusa had a reach advantage, jabbing him the entire time, at range just landing. Semmelsberger at range, finding the better of him. in the pocket, it's Fletcher all day. If he closes the distance, gets Gorimbo against the fence and lets it go, I think he's going to catch the knockout, which is why I played the under. But I think there's upside on Gorimbo too. Yes, his wrestling is suspect because he gets the takedowns pretty well, in my opinion. But then, like CT says, he gets reversed. But I would also bring up the fact that I think a lot of people are saying he has bad takedown defense based off of one fight, the Henderson-Ferreira fight, where he got taken down, couldn't really do much, had his back taken most of the fight. And Henderson-Ferreira is no bum. Like, he just got a W on LFA, I think 2 cards back against a guy who I was extremely high on, and he cost me a ton of money. But he's not like a bum. So to me, that wasn't the worst look. And Fletcher, his wrestling is pretty good, but he's not really controlling people. He couldn't really hold down Semmelsberger, and like Gorimbo's going to be even bigger, taller. If he can just tripod back up and keep it on the striking range, I think he's live. So I might get there. And also, the takedown defense of Fletcher, suspect, in my opinion. Like, Ange Lusa is a decent grappler, but if he can get you down, like, I'm kind of thinking Gorimbo may be able to too. So I don't know if I'm going to get there. If I do, I'll post it. Right now, I only have the under 2.5. I took it at minus 145 just for a unit. And that's all I'm doing here for now.
I think that under 2.5 is like minus 170 now. And like, I saw it at minus 110. I didn't do any tape before it, and I just didn't get to it. And now I'm just regretting it, man, because it got smashed. Congrats to who got that under 2.5.
Yeah, I like it just because like it covers if everybody's right and Fletcher's just going to smoke him. But then if it gets extended, I feel like Gorimbo can also get a finish.
It's a good prop too on Fletcher, because like the guy slows down in round 3. Fletcher 1 and 2 maybe on DraftKings. Like I don't hate that look, but I always like to get the extra round of cardio. But like we've seen the guy in 3rd rounds, like he doesn't really have any cardio. To me, he doesn't have good cardio.
You said Fletcher 1 or 2?
Yeah. What is that prop on DraftKings?
There's nothing on DraftKings, at least on best fight odds.
Okay.
And it's telling me, honestly, it's not telling me anything.
Yeah, I'm going to check now on DraftKings.
Gorimbo, fight ends. Yeah, I'm not sure. But either way, I kind of like that look also. And we can move on to the next fight. What do we got here? All right, we've got OSP versus Philipe Lins. Mamma mia. If we even get to fight night with these two, it'll be surprising. OSP 26-16-0, 39 years old. He's just not himself anymore. 6'3" with an 80-inch reach. And for him, we're going with Tapology at Knoxville MMA. Lins 15-5-0, 37, which is weird because I totally thought he's like a young dude. But at the end of the day, he's got less mileage than OSP, so it doesn't really matter to me. 6'2", he's 1 inch shorter, giving up 2 inches in reach, training out of American Top Team. I'll start this one off. I snagged Lins at minus 180, and it was simply because Lins, like, yeah, he didn't finish with Prachnio, who we're going to talk about later, but he beat him up. He beat him up for the most part. I had him there, made me nervous a few times, but overall, like, it was a clear win. And I like his striking. I do. He throws straight down the pipe. You don't often see heavyweights with good technique in the striking. They're usually looking for those big shots. He's at 205 now. His speed's really good, and he can wrestle. And OSP, like, we haven't seen the grappling tested in a minute, but I think Lins can take him down. And you just look at the Shogun fight, and it's like, I can't ever bet this man again. Now at minus 200, 220, whatever it's at now, I wouldn't touch it. But minus 180, I was cool with putting 2 units on it. And I'm not going to do anything else with this fight. How about you, Prop?
Yeah, so I actually have a bet on this fight. And like now, I'm not really regretting it, but I got a good number on it. So I got the under 2.5. I got it at plus 125. It's currently plus 100 now, and I just don't see like how this fight. It goes to decision if it's an OSP fight, and I just don't think Lins is going to fight the way Shogun fought against OSP, and I think that's why like the over 2.5 like opened around like minus 170, because with our eyes we all think OSP is just going to stand there at range, throw kicks to the body, throw leg kicks at range, just throw his jab, but like. Lins has power, man, and like Andre Arlovsky is extremely tough. I understand he was 40 years old, but like Lins was cracking him in the first round, and Prachnio, like Lins was wrestling Prachnio. If he comes in here and he tries to wrestle OSP is gonna fall on him and just choke him out. So like I really see I could see Lins here getting a knockout like very early. And I can see OSP mixing in the takedowns in the second round if Linz is really pressuring him. Because, like, what is OSP going to do? Is he just going to put his hands up? Does he even want to be there? Like, I have absolutely no idea. I just really like violence. These two are both old. I think they're both going to go in there and go for the finish. But, like, I mean, OSP can get the choke and Linz can get the knockout. That's why I took the under here.
What do you think of the sub at plus 1,000 for OSP?
Yeah, it opened plus 2,100, and if I had bet online, I would have put half a unit on that. 100.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I would have definitely put half a unit on it.
What are you thinking for this fight, Mushroom?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you guys pretty much broke it down. Look, I know OSP, he might still have a little power in his hands. You know, he's definitely the more talented MMA fighter. Man, but 39 years old, slowed down. And like you said, against he looks so fucking bad. And like a lot of people have been saying all week, does he even want to fucking be there? You know, I'm almost to the point where I don't know who the fuck cares about this fight less, me or fucking OSP. That's why I'm siding with the side of Linz by knockout. I think that's the way it's going to happen. I don't think it's a sub on the Linz side. If there's a sub in this fight, it's coming from the other end. And that's why you can't just play like fight ends in knockout. Your under is a good play, absolutely. And I think Linz gets it done probably by round 2. I don't see it going in the round 3. So, you know, a fight doesn't start round 3 is a good prop to look for this fight. But I'm on the Linz KO as well. So,
all right.
Glad we agree, Mushroom.
Oh, thanks.
All right, we'll move on to one that's honestly started a good amount of debate in the MMA community. We've got Jamall Emmers against Khusein Askhabov making his long-awaited UFC debut. Emmers is 18-6-0, 33 years old, 5'10" with a 74-inch reach. And he's actually a team alpha male now, which I like quite a bit because his IQ is horrible. Askhabov, 23-0, undefeated, 28 years old. He's 5 years younger. He's going to be 2 inches shorter, don't have his reach. And I believe he's at Tiger Muay Thai now. And why don't you start us off, Prop?
Yeah, this fight is extremely sketchy. It's priced at Pick'em for a reason. We don't know what we're going to get out of Askhabov. Like, 3-year layoff, coming up a weight class. And Jamall Emmers is not a bum. Jamall Emmers has all the skill in the world. Honestly, it's just the fight IQ. It's what we've all been saying all week. And I can't trust Emmers. And I really can't trust Askhabov off a 3-year layoff, but I don't really like Askhabov's regional tape, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. I think he's a little bit sloppy on the feet. He has good technique, but he keeps his hand. He tends to keep his hands down. And Emmers has fought the fight style of Askhabov multiple times throughout his career, and he fought a great fight against Giga Shikatse. And if he fights that fight more aggressive in round 1, he takes that fight all day. And Askhabov on a 3-year layoff, we don't know how his cardio is going to be. We don't know how he's going to react to punches. Emmers is also coming off that bad heel hook by Pat Sabatini, who he just decided to play. He just decided to play with Pat Sabatini on the ground, and you're just going to pay for that. Yeah, that's why I was going to bet Emmers, and that's just the reason why I can't bet Emmers here. But man, this is a sketchy fight. I'm going to go with Emmers to win this fight, but I don't have a good read on it. Hopefully you guys have better reads than me here.
What do you think, Mushroom?
Well, again, a lot of the stuff I've written in my notes is very similar to what you guys were saying. You know, on the Emmers side, you do have to worry about that fucking fight IQ. I don't see, like you said, if he beats him, if he does better in round 1, he wins that fight against Giga. I mean, to go to split against Giga, and then as Sabatini's giving you a fucking heel hook, you want to fuck with his foot. How about maybe trying to fuck with your foot and get your foot the fuck out of there? You know what I'm saying? Like, the poor IQ just fucking frightens me. But then what do you have on the other side? You have a 23-0 guy? But is it padded? I mean, is his padded, you know, how good is that record? How good is the competition he's facing again? When I looked into it a little bit, it just scares me off. It's not like there's anything spectacular. His heel hooks, though, however, is one of his submissions he uses. Obviously, that scares me against Emmers. What the fuck's to say this idiot doesn't fall for the same shit again? Maybe he learned his lesson. So the thing is, on this one, I still am going to go with Emmers. And I want to think this fight's going to go later than most people think. I'm actually taking Emmers by decision.
All right. So I think all three of us are on Emmers. And So I'll say this. I think that Askhabov, he kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you guys remember from the Contender series, the guy who fought Ishmael Bonfim, Nariman Abasov. Guy was 28-3-0, ton of hype going into it, and he sucked. He was not good.
Right.
And the record obviously doesn't always mean everything. And I went into this fight early on. I was like, yo, I'm going on Askhabov 100%. This guy's 23-0. The few videos I've seen, he looks amazing. And then I start thinking about it. I taped it more. Of course, there's very little tape, right? Very little on Askhabov. He hasn't fought since 2020. He's been trying to get in here forever now. So it's hard to know, but I really like what Emmers does on the feet. I think he's really good on the feet. Everything's nice and straight. He uses his reach really well. I mean, he knocked down Sabatini. If he would have just let him back up, he would have finished him. I'm very confident in that. So if he can keep this on the feet, from what I've seen, unless Askhabov has made crazy improvements, I'm assuming he has improved. He's at Tiger Muay Thai. It's been 3 years. But even then, I still kind of think Emmers might be the better striker. So it comes down to the grappling, right? Askhabov, what you can say, he has very good wrestling. Maybe it's against cans, but it looks very solid. Unfortunately, we don't know much about Emmers' takedown defense. He's been shot on 4 times in the UFC. It's sitting at 100%, but no real grapplers other than Sabatini. So don't really know. And that's why you got to keep it small. But he's a good wrestler himself. He's got a bunch of takedowns. So I like him here. I played him plus 114 for a unit, and let's see what happens.
If he does what he did in the Cacciarero fight, I mean, he's going to absolutely destroy this guy. When he releases his hands, he's vicious. When he doesn't and he stands at range and he's low volume and he thinks too much, that's when we get crappy Jamall Emmers.
No throw.
Makes sense to me. But all right, we'll move on to this next fight that Lou was talking about, the split decision. He hit me up about this today. We got Lina Lansberg versus Mayra Bueno Silva. Lansberg's 10-7-0. She's 40 years old, 5'7" with a 66-inch reach, trading out of Redline TC. Silva, 9-2-1. She's going to be 9 years younger, 1 inch shorter, and have a 1 inch reach advantage. Trading at a shoot. Actually, no, she's not there anymore. She's at American Top Team now, which is an interesting twist. Mushroom, why don't you start us off, brother?
Well, you start off right away with this line is too fucking wide. The line's wide. I mean, okay, in the end, I'm going to end up picking, Silva to win this fight. But I'm going to go through a couple things that kind of have me concerned. Let's start on the Lansberg side. I mean, she's got more UFC experience, although she is 40 years old. She's a good striker, Muay Thai champion. But the things I worry about her is her takedown defense and her ground game. And she gets controlled. She's good in the clinch. She's good when they're standing in her clinch. Just nothing on the ground off her back is good. She'll lose minutes on the ground for you. Now, Bueno Silva, obviously, she's durable. I like that about her. Good power in her hands. She comes forward. She has all these subs on her record, but she has no fucking takedowns. What'd she go for? 1 takedown in the last 7 fights or something?
Yep.
And you didn't land it. This all happens because people are stupid enough to jump in her fucking guard or they trip and are on the ground. It's nothing that she does to create that. So if nothing happens to create a grand scramble, I don't know that there is necessarily going to be a finish on the Silva side. But I do think she's going to win this fight. And I do think she's going to win this fight maybe late or by decision. So the 3rd round decision prop, again, I'm going to pull out for this fight for Bueno Silva.
All right. How about you, prop?
Yeah, so as Mushroom said, this line is just completely way too wide in my opinion. When we watch Lansberg, she's not a bad fighter at all in my mind. She's getting controlled, but she's getting controlled against good grapplers who are actually good offensively getting the fight to the ground compared to Silva. Silva's a defensive grappler, like a jiu-jitsu tractor off her back, and she just throws up. It's the infamous women's MMA armbar that just tends to get to everyone. And I had Silva in her last fight, and she was my first ever track bet on Bet MMA Tips too. So thank you, Silva. But I just honestly I don't hate this price on Lansberg. She's not bad in the clinch. She throws elbows, and we watched the Pandy Kanzer fight, right? She's losing about 8.5 minutes of that fight. What does she do in the stand-up in the clinch when Pandy's backed up against the fence? she throws one elbow and skims her eye, and there's just a vicious cut going down Kanzer's eye, going into the whole entire third round. I can see Lansberg getting this fight to the ground. Let's say she gets this fight to the ground in the first round and Silva uses all her gas tank, throwing up arm bars. How is she going to look in the second up against the fence? How is she going to look in the third up against the fence? Lina Lansberg is a veteran of this game. She's not a bum. Like, plus 375 is not bad, but I mean, I think Lansberg could get a third round ground and pound if Silva is extremely tired and if she just doesn't react to the grappling well. And it's plus 6,500 on DraftKings. I know I'm talking crazy, but I mean,
wait, what's plus 65?
Lina Lansberg, third round TKO. I think she can ground and pound her, dude. I think Silva. I think she's gonna cut her up early. Like, I think Lansberg is gonna be very grit. I think she's gonna piss a lot of people off. Like, I wanted to take the over, man. Like, I wanted to take the over so badly when it was minus 110, but like, I just couldn't do it because Silva could sub her, and like, I think Lansberg can like honestly get her out of there late. And Silva, if Silva keeps us on the feet and she's standing at range, she's gonna destroy Lansberg.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the same page as you guys. I think the line's entirely too wide. And if it keeps going, I am going to play a little bit on Lina Lansberg. You look at it, like, first off, you look at Mayra Bueno Silva, right? She's actually only won one decision in the UFC. She's been to 3. I had to double check this right now. And she's only won 1 against Wu Yanan. And what's going to happen if she doesn't get that finish early? Like, is she going to get a KO? She could, but who's knocked out Lina Lansberg? Aspen Ladd on the ground, Cyborg, and Kianzad in her pro debut. When was that? So is Silva going to knock her out? She could, but I don't really know. She's a little hittable, Lansberg, so I see it. And then the grappling, right? The subs. Lina Lansberg's never been submitted. And in the UFC, Silva has only hit arm bars. Like everybody's been saying, she's not wrestling. So how the hell could you put minus 500 on her? Like, you only lay that if you think, A, they're going to knock them out real quick, or they'll just dominate them on the ground. And she's not going to do either of those things, I don't think. So I'm probably going to get to Lansberg. I think that if she uses that clinch game a lot, she can really tire out Mayra Bueno Silva. And I do think she's got the advantage in the clinch. So if it hits like plus 400, I'm going to have to get in, I think.
It's so bad because Wu took Silva down. Wu, who, like, we watched Wu on the feet against Silva. I mean, the fact that she got her down and she's a straight boxer too just really caught my eye. It was just like, wow. And Silva is minus 500 and her sub prop is plus 175 and you're just hoping Lansberg gets caught in her guard. I mean, no, not for me.
No, and I wouldn't blame you guys for taking a shot on Lansberg either, because the girls that are beating her are girls that can actively wrestle and actively get her to the ground and control her for long periods of time. These are the girls that are beating her, you know, and I don't see how all of a sudden Bueno Silva is going to become this wrestler. I'm hoping she can do a little more damage on the feet. I'm hoping she's a little bit busier. Like I said, I'm over that decision prop, so my asshole is going to be puckered for 15 fucking minutes. But let's go, let's have it.
I was looking at the decision for Silva as well. It's like minus 125, right, Mushroom?
Yeah, it's right around there. Yeah, somewhere on my book. Yep.
All right. Let's move on to this next one. I'm actually really excited for this fight. We've got Nazim Sadykhov versus Evan Elder. Sadykhov is 7-1-0. He's 28 years old, 5'9", 5'10" with a 69-inch reach, training out of Longo Weidman MMA. Elder 7-1-0. He's 3 years younger at 25, same height. He's got a 2-inch reach advantage, and he's training out of Sanford MMA. So I believe it's my turn. So I'll start this one off. I played Evan Elder early. My original lean was Nazim, and I can't blame anyone for going with him. His striking is definitely better than Evan Elder. Evan Elder is a bit hittable, that's for sure. Now, I don't think we can take too much from his Preston Parsons fight. That was up a weight class, super short notice, making his debut. And Preston Parsons is pretty good, and he's much bigger than Sadykhov. I think it really comes down to, is this going to be on the feet or on the ground? If Elder's shooting and he can't get it, he's probably going to get himself knocked out. Sadykhov's counter game is nasty. He's got really good striking, great jab, great combinations. I tried to fade him on the Contender Series with Hassan Zada, and for the most part, he smoked him. Like, he had some adversity, but for the most part, he got him. He did get held a little bit in the Hassan Zada fight. He did get taken down a bit, especially on the regionals. I noticed, which isn't a great look because his regional scene competition sucked. So to get taken down by them, get your back taken. That's all I needed to go with Elder, because Evan Elder, what is he going to do for sure? He's going to grapple. He's very good at it. He's very strong. And I just think as long as he keeps going to that grappling, this fight is his to lose. If he gets caught in the feet, he'll probably get knocked out. I took Elder at plus 150 for a unit, and I kind of hedged myself with Sadykhov round 3, because I feel like if he does get that finish, it might be later when Elder gasses out. We did see him gas out against Parsons. Again, short notice, up a weight class. But even in the regionals, he did slow down. So that's my little hedge. What do you think for this one, Prop?
Yeah, so I don't have a bet here, but like I don't really see Evan Elder grapple as much as people say. Like on the regionals, like he like kind of conventionally strikes for 3 minutes and then he'll shoot one takedown and then he'll just kind of go away from it. Like I'm not really seeing the guy pushing a heavy wrestling grappling pace in the very first round early, which I would like to see out of him more in this spot, because Nazim is very good on the feet. He's very technical and he just hits hard, man. And in the Dana White Contender Series fight, like every single punch that he was landing, it was just like, oh, every punch, like you just heard the volume of it throughout the whole crowd. Like Nazim can get taken down, as you said, Couch Warrior. I think Elder could get him down, but if this is on the feet, it's Nazim all day. Elder up a weight class against Parsons, we can't really take anything from that. And Parsons pushed that heavy grappling game for 15 straight minutes, and I can't bet an under here because I mean Evan Elder just survived that with I can't bet an under. I can't bet an under the way Evan Elder survived that fight. But if I was to bet something here, I would just go with the Nazim money line, maybe as a parlay piece. Like I just think he's way better on the feet. I think he could defensively stop the grappling pace from Evan Elder. So give me Nazim here by TKO.
All right, 1-1. How about you, Mushroom?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm going to end up on the Elder side as well. Let's start on the other side with Sadykhov. He's got power in his hands. More of a counter striker. He's got decent hands, but if he hurts, he's going to go for the kill. I'll give him that. But man, look, I want to say it's the same shit that Couch Warrior said. He gives up his back. He puts himself in bad positions. Not impressed with his regional scene. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot not to like about this guy. There are a lot of good points that Brandon brought up, which are good points as well to like him. But I just feel Elder, he can use his leg and body kicks. I think he's fast. He can throw in combos. He can come forward. I think if he just gets to the wrestling, I think that's the key here. I think it's going to be tough to finish either one of these guys, especially on the Elder side. Finishing him is going to be fucking hard unless he guesses out late, like Brandon said. But I'm on Elder by decision. I'm propping the shit out of these fucking fights just to try to make some kind of D-Gen money and put a bunch of them together in a parlay and shit.
All right. Prop, you want to do a shoey bet? Since you don't have money on it?
Shoey bet. Oh, man.
I'm taking
on
the
this
dog.
Fight? Oh,
I'm always taking the dog in these stupid shoey bets.
Yeah, you might got to put that White Claw down, man. I don't know what you're getting yourself into here.
Ooh.
Let's do it.
What do you got, Evan Elder?
Yeah.
All right, bet.
All right. We got a shoey bet.
Hey, nice.
I figured we might as well with this fight.
Great, I have no money on this fight. Now the shoey bet's more important than me actually losing my real money.
Dude, I had a shoey bet with Wiz last week. I had, what's his face? We were winning until we weren't.
You had Bogasarian.
Yes. I had Bogdasarian, and I had money on him. I didn't even care about the money. I was like, I want Wiz to drink the shoey. I need Wiz to drink the shoey, and then we got subbed. I was like, God damn it. I'm 0-3 with Wiz, so hopefully that'll change eventually, but we can move on. So for our next fight, we've got another one that has everybody split completely. We got Jim Miller versus Alexander Hernandez. Miller, 35-16-0. He's 39 years old, 5'8" with a 71-inch reach, training out of Sussex County MMA. Hernandez, 13-6-0. He's 30 years old now, 9 years younger. He's going to be 1 inch taller, got a 1 inch reach advantage, training out of Factory X Muay Thai. Prop, Start us off, brother.
Yeah, so I actually bet an over, and guys, I know I never bet overs, but I bet the over 1.5 at -130. Jim Miller has only been knocked out in 2 of 51 professional fights, which was just crazy to me. I understand he's 39 years old, but like I see Alex Hernandez coming in here, pacing himself. If you guys didn't see his interview today, it was so funny. And he said at featherweight, I don't think I could like actually say it on my stream. Mike, do you care if I say it?
I mean, he just said his penis was flaccid, right?
Yeah. He said he couldn't feel his penis. That's basically what he said at 145. Now he's back at 155. So now he's probably gonna feel it here. I know it's got nothing to do with it, but I mean, I really do like Hernandez. I like what he brings. We know he's like kind of just like he's disappointed everyone. He's lost people tons of money, but like in the Moises fight, like he didn't put himself into any bad grappling situations, and it was kind of just like a stand at range striking fight. And Moises was going for takedowns. He was trying to get him down. And when we watched Jim Miller's last 3 fights, like they're really not high level like competition. Like I know it's Cerrone like going into the movie film career. Then it was Nicholas Mata, who we just found out what happened to Nicholas Mata. And it was Eric Gonzalez. And like I just think Alex Hernandez is better than all 3 of these guys. And I think it's going to be tough for Miller to get the fight to the ground with Hernandez in the first round. So I see both just kind of standing, just picking each other at range. And I honestly think this fight goes to decision. And I like Hernandez by decision. But I did bet the over 1.5 here.
That's super brave, Hernandez by decision. How about you, Mushroom?
Well, I'm going to be super brave as well. Because I'm taking Alexander Hernandez by decision. Listen, I know Jim Miller, but look, he's 39 years old. He's got power in his hands, but I still believe that he has durability. He's looked good recently, but it hasn't been the best competition. And he's got that old, before the year 2010 BJJ that he still fucking relies on. And it just doesn't seem to work as well against these guys anymore. On the other hand, you got Alex Hernandez, 9 years younger at 30 years old, well-rounded, decent wrestler, kind of athletic, put some volume on. He's got a little power on the feet. I know it's short notice, quick turnaround. I do, again, with him, feel that he could have suspect cardio late in fights. But I don't know that 39-year-old Jim Miller's cardio, because he's going to go for fucking broke in that first round. He's going to do everything he can to fucking try to get him out of here in the first round by sub or something. And I just don't see it. So, again, I'm exactly right with Brandon. I'm taking Alexander Hernandez by decision.
So I'm on Hernandez as well. I can't get to a decision just because Miller is 39 and Hernandez does slow down. But I did parlay him. I parlayed him up with Carpenter, -109 for 1.1 units. And honestly, like I think people are just pissed off that they lost money on Hernandez, and that's the only reason they're saying all this stuff about him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he slows down, but guys, who's he fighting? Like, let's compare the last 5 fights. For Hernandez, Billy Q, Moicano, Breeden, okay, Moises, and Grutzmacher. Miller, Donald Cerrone in 2022, ready to go off to do his movies. Nicholas Mata, who just popped for cocaine. Eric Ghost Pepper Gonzalez, who we don't know what to make of him right now. Joe Selecki, that's a decent L. And Vint Pichel, also an older guy. So I really feel like to say Hernandez is just losing and being stupid and his bad cardio, I think people are just tight. They lost money, honestly. And like watch like the Billy Q fight. He got tired because of the pressure of Billy Q, but Billy Q always does that. Jim Miller doesn't do that. Jim Miller doesn't pressure people, especially not like Billy Q does. And Moicano, is he going to wrestle and do subs like Moicano? No, he's not. He does have 19 submission wins, but like Mushroom said, I just don't think it's going to happen here. No. And at range, I don't know what Miller has for him. Everything Miller throws has a hook to it, a loop to it. In the pocket, sure. I could see maybe like if he gets Hernandez by the fence, Hernandez is maybe tired, like people say. He can catch the chin with those hooks. I think it's extremely unlikely, though. I think at range, Hernandez is going to piece him up. Even Eric Gonzalez in the first round was doing very well against Jim Miller. And then he overextended in round 2 and got flatlined. That was really, really clean. But I don't see that happening to Hernandez. And I feel like Hernandez also has a path in the wrestling because Jim Miller has a 47% takedown defense. I was sitting today in my freaking bankruptcy class and I was watching tape and I was like, Eric Gonzalez just took him down with a body lock. That's horrible.
That was a big
one. He controlled him the whole entire fight. I think it was 12 and a half minutes of control time slot he got.
So just to be safe, first leg of my 3-leg parlay I have is Alexander Hernandez, 3rd round / decision at plus 205 for that leg.
3 or decision?
3 / decision for that Alexander Hernandez.
I'm writing it down.
Completely agree, Mushroom.
I got it at plus 205. That's the first leg of my 3-legger. Those other fights are still to come.
I like that. I'm writing it down. 3 decision. All right. I like it. All 3 of us are on Hernandez. CT unrelated, but I'm super hyped about the Kai Barrayo announcement today. You guys see that one?
Olachasek.
I just feel like we're gonna get such a shit line. Like Barrayo's obviously gonna win that fight, and we're gonna get like
gonna wrestle him the whole entire time. He ain't gonna strike with him, man.
He probably could strike with him.
He's not going to though.
Do you guys think this card is for New Jersey? I think the only ones from New Jersey are Blanchfield and Miller. I'm pretty sure.
And Nazim. Nazim, I think, is kind of
East Coast. He's, I believe he's.
I think he's Brooklyn, man. I think he trains with Chris Weidman. Yeah.
I'm in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, representing.
That's my.
And you're fading him with a shoey bet, man.
Not wait. Oh yeah, I am.
Yeah.
We're all East Coast.
What's up?
So we're all East Coast.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Nice.
The East Coast panel. But all right, for this one, this is going to be a comedy show. I don't know if you guys saw my under post. I tried to get some good flicks of these guys. We got William Knight versus Marcin Prachnio. Knight is 11-4-0. He's 34 years old, 5'10" with a 73-inch reach. And I don't have a camp for him. We're going with Tapology. Thornton MMA. Prachnio, 15-6-0. He's 34 years old, 6'3". So he's going to have, what is that, a 5-inch height advantage, 74-inch reach, 1-inch reach advantage. And I don't have his camp. I feel like I thought he was at American Top Team, but I don't know. Mushroom, what do you think for this fight, man?
I think this is one of the least fights I'm interested in the card. However, I still have a pick because I'm a fucking degenerate gambler. I'm not going to let a fucking fight go by without putting a fucking play on it. So, let's start with William Knight. Strong, he's a power puncher. He's built like a fucking like a refrigerator or something. He's just fucking massive. But he's actually a guy that's that massive. For some reason, the lactic acid buildup doesn't seem to bother him that much. He has okay cardio. He can push kind of a wrestling pace if he wants to, but he's hittable. And getting knocked out by fucking Devin Clark, like everybody's been saying, and that's a bad fucking look. That's a real bad look. And he can get pieced up at range. I mean, he can win minutes with the grappling, so we'll see. But on the other hand, you got Marcin Prachnio. He's the better striker. I think, as far as more technical, he could get into a brawl, but I think he's knockout or bust. And he's a lower volume guy. I think after 1.5 rounds, he has no fucking gas left whatsoever. I mean, so this would be kind of just like being at the fucking bar, drunk as fuck, closing my eyes and throwing a fucking dart. But that dart for me is going to land on William Knight knockout in round 2. So that's my prediction for this fight.
All right. So for me, I'm actually glad you brought up the Devin Clark thing because that's my biggest prop hit ever. I played Devin Clark round 3 KO plus 2,300. Hit that shit. I was so hyped. After that, I was like, Devin Clark, I'm with you always. And then I faded him for 4 units against Jung and lost money. So he got me there, fooled me there. But that's my favorite prop play, the highest odds I've ever hit. But back to this fight. Skill for skill, I think it's not even close. Like if you took away all the measurables, all the like differences in their muscles and their whatever physique, I think it's Prachnio all day long. But look, he got knocked out by Sam Alvey. He got knocked out. Ankalaev, okay, that's fine. He got knocked out by Mike Rodriguez. It's not a good look. somehow won a decision against Roundtree. I was like scratching my head at that today. And then not the best performance against Ike until he got that knockout. But I have a really bad feeling. I have a bad feeling that Marcin Prachnio is going to be winning until he's not. William Knight, in my opinion, might be skill-wise, might be the worst person in the UFC. He has no skills at all. His striking is not technical. Remember that knockout against, I think it was Fabio Charant, where he didn't even extend his hand. He just kind of swung it and knocked him out flat. So, like, the dude has insane strength, like Mushroom said, walking, talking refrigerator. And even his wrestling, right? He gets wrestling pretty often, but it's not technical. He's just really strong. So I couldn't get to anything here. I played a total instead. I went with violence. I played the under 1.5. I got it at -140 for a unit. I thought that was a good price because Prachnio, he's been knocked out 3 times. One of those is Sam Alvey, and I believe all of those were early.
Wow.
And if William Knight does get tired like he has in his last few, I think he might get knocked out himself late. So I like that under. I can't possibly trust either guy because I feel like you bet William Knight and you might get stuck with him just getting outstruck by freaking Marcin Prachnio. And then you bet Prachnio, you're going to feel really good, and then he's going to get flatlined. So for me, it's just the under. How about you, Prop?
Yeah, on a money line perspective, this fight is absolutely disgusting, and I would not trust any one of these guys. Do not put your money on William Knight. Do not put your money on Prachnio. Prachnio, the Sam Alvey knockout. I can't sweat it enough. Like, Prachnio walked across the whole entire octagon and had his hands down, and Sam Alvey just landed a little jab and knocked out Prachnio straight down to the ground. Ankalaev, great fighter, obviously. Ankalaev could arguably be the champ right now if it wasn't for Jamall Hill or that robbery in my mind. Mike Rodriguez, extremely bad luck. Prachnio got gassed in, I think, 2 minutes and Mike Rodriguez was just throwing little elbows in the clinch. I think he threw about like 6 elbows, and Prachnio just fell, man. He just fell. And the Khalil Roundtree fight, Khalil Roundtree didn't look good at all. That was also Abu Dhabi as well. We know we don't get the best performances out of Abu Dhabi from fighters. And I, just like Couch Warrior said, I think Roundtree won that fight. Ike Villanueva hurt Prachnio in the first 20 seconds, and Prachnio was able to survive because Ike Villanueva doesn't know how to check a single leg kick in his whole entire career. And Philip Lins was able to grapple him. I love the under 2.5 here. William Knight, like 33% striking defense. As Couch Warrior said, he has the worst skill I've ever seen out of any UFC fighter. I still can't believe he's in the UFC. Good for William Knight, though. He's posting about his body on Instagram. Post about your fight skills, maybe, William Knight. Like, I would like to kind of see some improvements. I'm not trying to bust on you, but, like, I think either guy is going to fold here. Both have crappy cardio. Both have crappy striking defense. I don't see wrestling happening here. Prachnio damn well won't go for a takedown. And if Knight does, Prachnio, I think, is going to come better with the takedown defense because Lins was able to just wrestle him the whole entire time. So give me violence, and I took the under 2.5 at -125.
My only concern, Prop, is I feel like there is a chance Knight just wrestles him and lays on him, and our under just gets ruined because he decided to just wrestle.
I don't think William Knight is that good to honestly even do that. But, like, Prachnio is that bad for that to happen. So, like, it's just scary. But, man, I don't think that happens. But if that does happen, I mean, that would suck. Yeah, it would suck for a lot of us.
But, all right, we can move on to a fight that's not this, but honestly might be worse. We got Josh Parisian versus Jamall Pogues. It's so crazy. This is the third to last fight for this fight card. Josh is 15-5-0. He's 33 years old, 6'4" with a 79-inch reach. Pogues, he is 9-3-0, 27. He's going to be 5 years younger, or is that 6? 6 years younger. He's 1 inch shorter, giving up 2 inches in reach. And I've got him training out of Joe Stevenson's Cobra Kai, which is hilarious to me that someone would name their gym Cobra Kai. But I'll start this one off. So my original lean just pre-tape was Pogues because I just remembered him from the Contender series. I did a bunch of content. But then you watch him back, and I'm just not impressed. His striking's actually decent in his last fight. But if you look at who he was fighting, the dude had never fought at heavyweight. In fact, he fought at welterweight more than anything. So like to get that win wasn't that impressive, and it's not like he dominated. Maybe if he would have wrestled more, he could have dominated, but he did not. I have a theory that there's a reason he didn't want to wrestle, because in his first fight against Marcus Burgau, he got 8 takedowns, won the fight, and didn't get a contract. So maybe he went into this one, he was like, all right, I'm not here to just win. I want to get the contract. Let's strike. All right, and he got it. So good for him. But I don't know. And then you look at Parisian, and he's just weird. I faded him on his second Contender Series performance against Chad Johnson, and Chad sucks. Chad sucks, and he was winning. He was winning until he literally it was so weird. He went for like a shot. It's not like Josh even sprawled. He just kind of fell backwards. Josh just got on top of him and just beat him down and finished the fight. So that was like not a good look for either dude. And then, losing to Parker Porter, Parker Porter, the GOAT. He beat Roque Martinez in a split decision close fight. And then Dontel Mays out-grappled him for, 3 rounds and then finished him. And then the Bordeaux win cost me a little bit of money there. If Jamal Pogues can wrestle at like Dontel Mays did, I mean, it's all him here. Parisian showed that if you're a better wrestler, he can't get up and you can do whatever you want to him. My concern is I don't know if he's that, like, he might be a better wrestler, but he's also not a heavyweight. Like, Pogues could easily be 205. Like, we all know that. It's been said all week. And Dontel Mays, he could never get down to 205. No way. He's huge. Dontel Mays is huge. And I do think that makes a difference when it comes to wrestling. I really do. So if Pogues can get it going, like, yeah, maybe he can get it. But I'm starting to get tempted on a Parisian dog shot. I doubt I'll get there because this is just so low level. But I low-key think he might be a better striker. I think that, honestly, maybe nobody's a better striker here. And it just might come down to who can last longer. It's hard for me to tell. I'm going to lean with the underdog in Parisian, but I don't think I'm going to touch this with a 10-foot pole. Prop, I think you have a fun one here. Why don't you start us off? I mean, go.
Yeah, I got Pogues by submission, and I have it at plus 900. And it's just because, like, we watched Josh Parisian. He's a fish in water when he's on the ground. The guy can't get back up to his feet. He gives up his back. He gives up his neck. He does everything that you don't want your fighter doing when he gets back up to his feet. Like, Pogues is way more agile. He's way more faster than Parker Porter. And Parker Porter just had him in really bad spots. Like, I understand Parker Porter has a tighter squeeze than Pogues, but, like, Pogues has good back takes. Like, Pogues is, like, I'm pretty sure Pogues is, he's purple belt, right? I'm pretty sure he's a purple belt.
I don't know about the belt, but I actually have it in my notes. His back take in one of those fights on the regionals was dirty.
Yeah, like, if he takes Josh Parisian's back, it's over. And I don't see why he would honestly strike with Parisian. Like, that's just where Parisian's going to win the fight. I mean, that's where it's his only shot, honestly. He's not going to wrestle here. But, like, if Dontel Mays can take you down and come back from a year and all of a sudden look like a D1 wrestler, I think Pogues can come out here and get down Parisian. And if Pogues has Parisian on the ground for a long amount of time and Parisian's just gassed, like, it's going to piss Parisian off. So I took a little poke at the sub prop at 9-1. That's my bet here.
I'm tempted too. What do you think, Mushroom?
We know all about Parisian's ground game, how terrible he is, how terrible he's getting up. Once he's on his back, he has nothing for you. I know he'll start off with a little bit of pace, some volume, but I think that tends to make him slow down. Again, another fight that I really wasn't impressed, especially with both guys. Like you said, it's so fucking low level, but I mean, I guess Pogues is kind of athletic. He has fast hands. He can set a little bit of a pace himself, but man, I don't know if he's going to be able to wrestle. His cardio is good, but he leaves his head straight up too. I don't know that this fight goes to decision. So do I think Parisian wins by decision? Probably not, but I think Pogues can probably get a finish. So I'm going to lean with the finish. Man, they just Brandon is making me think about that sub as well. That's a good prop there. Like you said, I mean, we know that Parisian is just going to put himself in trouble trying to get up. And man, I like that. So I'm just going to go inside the distance in case there's some sort of a knockout. Parisian trying to get up against the fence. Hit him a couple times, maybe get him a knockout, flatten him out, something like that. You never know. So I'm still going to go with the inside the distance, but I'm going on the Pogue side as well.
My degenerate ass is sitting here looking up Pogues by sub in 2 and 3.
Wow, there you go. Yeah, like I said, because
round 2 sub.
Parisian will come out a little hot, and I'm telling you, he's going to slow down. 1.5 after that, he's going to be a different fighter. It's going to be a different guy there in the ring. And I think that leads you to, just trying to get the fuck up any way you can, whether you got to turn around and give your back up for a second, thinking, now you're a little more tired. It takes you a second or two to do it, and that's maybe he gets a hold of your neck. I do like that play. I'm going to sprinkle that as well. I do like that, but I'm going to play the inside the distance.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it. I think something I might try is the Pogues round 2 instead of the round 2 sub, and Pogues round 3, because you can get round 2 plus 600, round 3 plus 1100. He doesn't have the power to just knock out Josh flat. He's going to have to grapple him, tire him, and finish him there.
Right. Yep.
The way he finished Alan Badeau too, like anyone could have reversed that takedown, and the way that Parisian got top mount, like it honestly made me throw up in my mouth yesterday. The way he got that top mount position and finished the fight, because Alan Badeau is just awful. And what was Bisping saying in the first minute and a half of that fight? Alan Badeau hates fighting wrestlers. Josh Parisian isn't even a damn wrestler. Alan Badeau, what the fuck? What the hell happened?
I lost on Badeau too, so yeah, I got you.
I was on Badeau as well. As Brady would say, Badeau, get help. Get help. But all right, we'll move on to another 2 guys who definitely need help. One in particular, we've got Zach Pauga versus Jordan Wright. Zach is 5-1-0. He's 34 years old. He's not a spring chicken. 6'2" with a 76-inch reach. He is training out of Elevation. Jordan Wright, 12-4-0. He's 31, 3 years younger. Same height, 1-inch reach advantage. And I don't have his camp. When you guys are talking, I'm going to look it up because I feel like he went to a bigger camp, but I don't know for sure. But Prop, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, guys, it's Jordan Wright, co-main event. Can't get any better than this. And it's Zach Pauga, co-main event, and he's a minus 300 favorite. Oh, my. We know, obviously, what Jordan Wright brings to the table. Kill or be killed. Guy fights double park. Pauga, who's a former heavyweight, is now coming back to 205, and the guy got knocked out by Muhammad Usman. And I actually had Usman by KO, and I sniped it early in that week at plus 900 on William Hill. So that was a great hit for me. And every single fight we watch of Pauga, he's just getting hurt in every single one of his fights. The guy's extremely chinny. Wright's 31. He throws more volume. And, Pauga's 34 with, 7 MMA fights. And, Jordan Wright has been knocked out by Buckley, hits like a truck. He's been knocked out by Bruno Silva, hits like a truck. And he got guillotined by Marc-Andre Barrio. Pauga will not get that if Jordan Wright gets the fight to the ground here. And I think Jordan Wright is extremely live, but I just can't bet guys who don't have cardio. But how is Pauga gonna react to the shots and the pressure of Jordan Wright in round 1? He has never seen pressure in his whole entire career because Usman he fights flat-footed. And I think that was the 12th punch that he even landed on Zach. And every single one of those jabs that were stinging Zach were stunning him in that fight too. So, if Jordan Wright breaks him down in the first round, we're all talking about Jordan Wright's cardio looking bad after round 1. How's Zach going to look after round 1? So, I mean, Jordan Wright, round 1 is plus 575 for some reason on Bet Rivers. I don't understand that. I mean, that's his win condition. But what if Jordan Wright extends his fight? What if Jordan Wright can win a decision? I'm talking out of my ass, but I don't know what I'm going to bet here, but it's just a tough fight for me. It really is. I don't have a bet here.
What do you think, Mushroom?
So I think the fight's kind of binary. I really think it's either Wright early or Pauga late. I mean, 2 and 3 are probably Pauga. 1's probably Wright. Man, just the fucking cardio. I mean, God, man. And his kill or be killed. listen, you might as well in this fight. Why not take a fucking shot on the under 60 seconds or whatever? Why not? Jordan Wright's going to come the fuck out on fucking fire. He's going to do it. And like you said, little fucking jabs were a piece of Pauga up, making him react. Imagine Jordan Wright just coming out just throwing. Listen, it's another fight I didn't put too much research into. If I had to bet it, I'm literally going to bet it that way. I'm going to bet, and I didn't know it was such good odds for round one for Jordan Wright. What was that? And that was by knockout prop?
No, it was honestly just his round one prop.
I love that. I love that. So I'm going to play that, and then Pauga 2 and 3, and I'm also going to sprinkle on the under 60 seconds. I can see it happen. I can see Jordan Wright just coming out. I can see him just catching him early, and that's it. So there are a couple of things I'm going to do in this fight. Nothing much. I'm not putting this on a lot of my parlays. I'm not fucking my parlays up with this fight. I can tell you that much.
So I've got one angle I'm thinking of, but I'll start off with just talking about it. We look at Zach Pauga, the Muhammad Usman fight. I actually also played this KO. Usman's terrible. Usman is terrible. In the PFL, he lost to Brandon Sales. I hit Brandon Sales at like plus, I think 400, something crazy like that. And he lost like clearly. He's not a good fighter. He honestly really got lucky in the Ultimate Fighter house. And in the Pauga fight, like he was losing. He was losing until he got that knockout. So not a great look. But at the same time, like Muhammad Usman is not Jordan Wright, and Jordan Wright is not Muhammad Usman. So I do not think he's going to be hitting as hard, which is, why I'm like not really hype about maybe like a round 1 KO. And also, like you guys mentioned, like it's plus 575. It used to be you get Jordan Wright round 1. It was like plus 1,000 because the bookies just didn't catch on. And now they've certainly caught on. They've lowered it. But what I'm thinking here is Wright scorecards, no action. You look at Pauga, he doesn't really finish anybody at all. I'm looking at his record right now. All decisions except one. And then he got one knockout against Jordan Heiderman in the Ultimate Fighter house. Jordan got tired as hell. Those wins against Jordan and Niall Bartling in the house, like those were all right. Both of those guys, like I don't even know if they're ever going to make it to the UFC. So it's not that impressive to me. I think it's entirely possible he does not get a finish. He fought fucking Marcus Perez in 2021 at 205. Like Marcus Perez, the guy is a professional pillow fighter. I'm not even kidding. Look it up. He's got pillow fighting fights. I think he even got a belt, champion, but couldn't even finish him. So I understand Jordan Wright has a glass chin, but it seems like he's really trying to improve. That's why he's been mixing in this wrestling, which hasn't been working for him really. I think he should stick to his game. Just maybe not rush out there so hard. He's not a bad striker. Like he's a pretty good striker. He's just either gasses himself out or just gets caught hard. But like even against Bruno Silva, he had some success. Like it wasn't a blowout from Silva. Silva just caught him and finished him. I think that if Jordan Wright wins this, it's ITD. And I think if Pauga wins this, it's either late or decision. So I'm pretty curious about that plus 240 on Jordan Wright. I think I might get there. Of course, that bet still loses if Pauga doesn't get the finish. But if we get to a decision, I got insurance. I get my money back because I really don't think Jordan Wright has the cardio to win a decision. But we'll see. At the end of the day, he is Jordan Wright, the glass chin, and Zach Pauga is Zach Pauga. I can't believe this is a co-main event.
It's Jordan, right? Like he's a fun guy, and I love watching violence, and a lot of people love watching violence, but it's like, come on.
He's coming off 3 losses.
Yeah, it's like, come on. I mean, really? Should be a fun fight, but hey, man, we're getting fights.
Yeah. It's better than not getting fights. I agree.
Prince of Mischief giving me shit every week for the no headboard. Bro, that stuff is expensive. I just moved, all right? Give me a second. That stuff is money. I got to hit a few crazy props, and then we'll figure it out. Is this the greatest card of all time? No, because Harry Hunsucker and Parker Porter are on it.
That would have been it.
But all right, we actually have a really dope main event, in my opinion. I'm super hyped for this fight. It's like one where we're going to get a lot of questions answered, particularly for Blanchfield. But here we've got Jessica Andrade versus Erin Blanchfield. Andrade is 24-9-0. She's 31 years old, 5'1" with a 62-inch reach, training out of PRVT. Blanchfield, she's 10-1-0, 23 years old, 5'4". She's 3 inches taller. She's going to have a 6-inch reach advantage, which is definitely going to be helpful here. And I believe she trains under Renzo Gracie here in New York. Mushroom, why don't you start us off for the main event?
Sure. Let's start off with, right away, Andrade. Short notice, 4-week turnaround. She didn't take much damage, so I'm not too worried about that. I don't think she would actually jump in here if she wasn't prepared for this fight. We already know about her cardio. I don't know that the quick cardio turnaround is going to affect her cardio in any way. She seems to be getting more technical with her boxing, or with her striking, if you ask me. She comes forward. She's the much more experienced woman, 22 fights in the UFC now. Good takedown defense. I'm sure that's going to be tested a little bit. I think she's a better striker. Pressure, pace, cardio for days. And she loses the champions. Let's look at the other side of this fight. You got, Blanchfield. Good grappler, striker. She's improving in striking, at least I'll say. 23 years old. So her time's to come. Don't know that it's now. Got some good jiu-jitsu. Control time for her against good numbers there as well. But to go from McCann to Andrade just seemed like it's a big fucking leap. Could be a little bit too much too soon for Blanchfield. I know. Listen, I can't argue on the other side of it. Really. I can't hate anybody for taking a bet on the other side of this fight. I can see the reason why people are high on Blanchfield. Again, but I think the step up in competition is too big, too soon. So I have Jessica Andrade inside the distance. Actually, will be the third leg of my parlay, which I forgot to mention. The second leg was that Pogues Jamal inside the distance. So my 3-leg parlay is going to pay for $50. I'll pay almost $900.
Yep. So I'm also on Andrade. And honestly, I think both matchups they made for Blanchfield, they were tweaking out.
Santos would have smoked her too. I would have took Santos all day. Santos would have smoked her too.
I would have been more confident in Santos, honestly, because she has her own grappling, and I thought that was a total tweak on the matchmaker's part. I think she's about to get killed here too, but she's got a better chance here, in my opinion. But again, I think this is way too much of a step up. Yeah, she'll have a big reach advantage, but she's not that good of a striker. She's right, and she's rapidly improving. She's 23. I totally think she's a future title challenger, if not champion. I just think it's too early. I think that if she can't get Andrade down, even if she can't hold her down, which I don't think she's going to be able to, what is she going to do on the feet? She's going to get beat up. I did not think Lauren Murphy was going to get outstruck in that way, and she did. And Lauren Murphy also had that reach advantage. Lauren Murphy actually has 1 inch longer than Blanchfield, and she got destroyed. And Blanchfield is not a striker. She's learning, improving, of course, but she's a grappler, and I just don't see it. I like the ITD mushroom, but I just went with money line because it's close. I got it -150, and I was convinced that it would keep coming in. Money's going on Blanchfield. Andrade is -129 now. If it gets to even money, I'm going to put more because I'm very confident in Andrade. Of course, she can maybe, it's MMA. Anything can happen. I just think it's really unlikely that Blanchfield out-grapples her for 5 rounds. I definitely don't think Blanchfield finishes her. So I like Andrade. And Mew, can you guys tell me why everyone's freaking out on Blanchfield? People get excited about prospects, in my opinion. That's what I think. That's all. That's really all it is. But Prop, what do you think for this fight?
Yeah, I actually like Blanchfield, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. I don't think her striking is as bad as everyone's saying. Yeah, Sarah Alpar, yeah, Miranda Maverick, JJ Aldrich, Molly McCann, but she's making improvements in every single one of her camps. And she fought Sarah Alpar in 2021 of September, and now it's a year and a half later, and she's already main eventing against Jessica Andrade. So it shows the potential that she really has to be a champion one day, and her grappling is no joke. And I know Valentina is one of the best women's fighters of all time, but she does these same exact takedowns as Blanchfield does, and Andrade didn't have a single answer for those takedowns. And the way that Erin Blanchfield is able just to advance positions and use her jiu-jitsu on top, and she's nonstop moving, has terrific cardio, and I give her the cardio edge here. And obviously, I'm giving the striking to Andrade by a mile, but like, I really think that Andrade is just going to come forward, and I think she might get too out of control at some point, and if she gets taken down, and I just think Blanchfield's going to hold her there, and like Miranda Maverick's a great grappler, and we've seen Miranda Maverick, and she has a great get-up game too, but like Erin Blanchfield was able to control her for about 10 minutes of that fight and was consistently moving in top mount and switching positions. So I like Blanchfield. I don't like her at this money line, if I'm going to be quite honest with you guys. Like, if Andrade's money line keeps going down, I would bet Andrade, because if Blanchfield doesn't get this fight to the ground, she's cooked on the feet, as you guys said. So I don't know. I'm going to pick Blanchfield to win this fight, but I'm like not too confident in it though. But
this should have been the shoey bet.
There's one prop that I like though, like submission only on Erin Blanchfield. I saw it at minus 105 this morning. It's now minus 115 on DraftKings. Like, I don't see Andrade getting a submission here. I understand she submitted Lemos, but she's not going to get that same exact submission against Erin Blanchfield here. So that's how I would honestly play Erin Blanchfield here, is submission only.
You think she can sub Andrade?
Yeah, I think she can. I think she can honestly ground and pound Andrade. I really do. Like, I don't think Erin Blanchfield's no joke. Like, I think she could, like, her and Santos would have been, I would have loved to see that fight more, honestly. Because I love to see the grappling and wrestling exchanges. So, but I love this fight too. But I think Blanchfield can get it done here.
My question is, like, do you guys think she, like, if Blanchfield wins, she probably gets Shevchenko next, right?
That's what I was thinking too. Maybe a top 3, number 1 contender fight. I don't know Shevchenko though.
The hell is she going to do to Shevchenko? Nothing. Nothing.
At this age, she's not too far in her career yet. So I don't know.
Maybe in a few years, but not yet. Not yet.
I like this. I like the money line price on Andrade, so I can't lie.
And I think it's going to get better.
Yeah, it is.
Great.
Maybe pick them probably before the fight.
Which is interesting though, because like, have you guys seen a lot of Blanchfield love on Twitter?
Yeah.
Really? I've seen
people taking shots at her, and I've seen people getting plus 160s on her, which I would have loved that line. If I would tape that fight at plus 160, I definitely would have taken Blanchfield at that price.
That was the opener, and it was there for less than a minute.
She was plus 160 on a couple of books this week, like plus 150, like plus 145 ranges too.
Nice.
That I would have liked too. Yeah.
Yeah, at this, I feel like it's just silly to play Blanchfield personally. Like, you're really just depending on takedowns, and like, you're going to be really stressed out if she doesn't get them. Like, I agree with you, Prop. I don't think her striking's terrible by any means. She's no Juancamilo Ronderos, but I just don't think it's on Andrade's level.
Oh, no, not even close. And I don't think a lot of people striking in that division is going to be on Andrade's level ever, besides Valentina. But, I mean, Andrade's a killer.
And like Mushroom said, it looks like she's been improving too, Andrade, even though she's like been fighting forever.
315 significant strikes landed last fight, right?
I think it was 250, 231.
Well, she threw 300 something, right? That's what she did
on her Holloway shit.
3-round fight too. That's terrifying.
It's even better than Holloway then. Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, it's insane.
But all right, guys, that is a card, and it's just a card.
That's all it is.
Next week, it'll be slightly better. I've already got a few spots. Luckily, we've got a ton of regionals. I'll be covering PFL in literally half an hour. So I got to dip out and tape the last 2 fights. And then tomorrow, I hope to do Aries FC and LFA 153. I'm not going to do a Fury FC video because there's like 20 fights, but I'm going to try to find some spots and post about it if I do. I'll pass the mic now to my boys to tell you guys where to find them. And thank you both very much for coming on. Prop, why don't you start off? Tell everybody where to find you.
Yeah, so you guys can find me at MMA_Propaholic on Twitter, where I post all my bets. And I'm probably going to post like 3 or 4 more bets that I'm considering, and I'm about to take one right after the show ends. Let's make this money, guys. Next week isn't that bad of a card. This week is a little bad, but we have a great main event, so at least we got fights, guys.
I also forgot to say, me and Prop have Prop Talk tomorrow, 6 p.m. on Twitter. Be there or be square. Mushroom, why don't you tell everyone where to find you, brother?
Well, it's your boy at mushroom_Philly on Twitter. Also, tomorrow I am putting an introductory video out on my new YouTube page, Mushroom MMA. So it'll just kind of walk through what I'm going to be doing on my channel and everything like that. And I'm going to, be posting more lunch videos. Of course, they're very popular. I put my fucking breakfast on Twitter today. I think I got like 9,000 views the last time I looked at it when I put it out 10:30. So, I mean, I'm going to keep that stuff up. I'm going to have all kinds of – listen, there's not always fights every week either. I live in a great city of Philadelphia. I'm going to take you on a fucking tour, put all kinds of shit like that on my channel. But I have my introduction video tomorrow. Hope everybody checks it out and subscribes to my channel. And subscribe to these two guys right here. They are fucking awesome, man. Good. These are one of the real ones in the community. Please support them as well. Thank you, guys. And I just want to thank you again, Mike, for the opportunity. Brandon, good actually talking to you one-on-one, brother. It's awesome. Great to meet you guys. Thank you very much.
Man, Mushroom, I'm so hyped for your YouTube channel, man. You
Yeah,
are
I
made
can't
for
wait.
this.
I can't wait.
Food reviews are going to be legendary.
But all right, guys.
Banned, but I want to try.
They'll just demonetize some videos. It happens to what's his face, MMA. What's his name? The YouTube guy who says crazy stuff all the time. MMA Guru.
Oh, yeah, I know. Busy.
I was listening to his James Lynch talk that they had because they had some weird beef, and he was just saying how like he constantly gets demonetized for stuff he says. I thought that was funny. But all right, guys, thank you all for tuning in, and have a good one. Good luck with your bets, and goodbye.
Thanks.